Okay, what's going on, everybody? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Deacon, and welcome to my incredible podcast. Now, before we commence this episode, do not forget to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, share this with your boys and your families, follow me on Instagram, smash that bell notification button, and enjoy. Now, let's get started. Our top story for today shall be New York City females are now charging men for bad dates and failed relationships. Now, folks, I cannot begin to tell you how fucked up these females are, let alone how fucked up this concept is. Most of American females, especially NYC females, continue to expose their own stupidity on social media. They continue to expose their own flaws, and they simply refuse to look at themselves in the mirror and realize that they are the real problem. See, from the female perspective, it's everyone else's fault but theirs. It's the bad boys' fault that they canceled on her. It's the good guys' fault for going their own way, for embracing MGTOW, for embracing the red pill. No, gentlemen, we need to take a stand right now and hold them accountable right now. It starts now. We need to tell them up front, that means up close and personal, and say to them, it's your fault that we have this hookup culture. It was your conscious decision for choosing the bad boys over the good men. Because at the end of the day, who do these females pick? Who do these females want to date? Who do these females choose to spread their legs for? Think about that for a brief second. Who do these females select to date? We all know the answer now. Gradually, more men are waking up to realize that these females choose to date the bad boys, aka the Chads and the Brads and the Tyrones. These females choose to go out with them and open their legs for them. That was a conscious decision that they chose to make, and because of that, we need to hold them responsible for that. Now that I got that out of my chest, let's advance to this article titled, The D-Bag Tax. New York women are charging men up to $3,000 for failed relationships and bad dates. $3,000. Question. What gives these females the right to charge these men a douchebag tax despite the fact that these females chose these men from the start? What gives these mediocre females the right to do something like this? Again, it's just like I said, 90% of the females in the US continue to expose their stupidity on social media, and we shall have a lovely discussion about this. So with all that said, let's begin with this article because I cannot wait to roast them. It starts with, and I quote, Sarah was fed up. The New York City social worker who declined to give her last name had countless dates cancel on her at the last minute. So when a man she met on an app recently pulled out of their date an hour beforehand, she agreed to reschedule with one caveat. He would Venmo her a $50 deposit. I'm just done with my time and energy being wasted, Sarah told the Post. In almost every other scenario, when someone books a time of their day dedicated to you, they have a no-show policy or security deposit. Oh, she's done with her time and energy being wasted. Okay, let's take out the violin. Everybody, please, let us have a moment of silence for this mediocre female who is probably a 4 out of 10 on the attraction scale. Okay, now let's get that out of the way. She needs to get the fuck out of her soapbox and stop pointing her finger at the men that she chose to date in the first place. Again, these females chose to date the bad boys over the good guys because they know that they can have the good guys at any hour of the day and at any day of the week. They know by heart that they can have them at the snap of a finger, but the bad boys? No, these bad boys have better things to do than to waste their precious time with a mediocre female who brings nothing to the table. Let's continue. It continues on, and I quote, the man agreed to the terms and sent her the money. They met up for a drink on a Monday night date in Hell's Kitchen, and he was fully engaged the entire time, paying for their cocktails and offering to buy them food to share. Sarah's female friends cheered her brazen move, while male friends told her it was nuts. Still, she has no regrets. I think it makes sense, she said of the arrangement. Let's break this down. First, this guy should have never agreed to her terms. That's the first mistake. Second, when they met up in Hell's Kitchen, it sounds like she chose to bring her female and male friends to the meetup. Therefore, it sounds like she brought some cock blockers and clamp slammers, if you will. That is a critical mistake. I would have called her out if I was in this guy's shoes. Third, her female friends were supporting her decision while her male friends, aka the nice guys that are in her beta male friend zone, were not supporting her. No, I would have never wasted my time, let alone my hard-earned money to some 304. Period. Pure and simple. Let's continue. It continues on and I quote, dating in the digital age can take a toll, both emotionally and financially. And some city women have had enough. They're asking men to pay them back for their time and energy when they cancel, cheat, or commit other indiscretions. For me, it's a way to just be like, you're a D-bag, here's the monetary value of my time you wasted. Martha Duke, 38, told the Post. So let me show you one of the article's images. Here goes People's Exhibit number 1. As you can clearly see, this is the creature on the left, who I said was a 4 out of 10 earlier. And on the right side of the screen, you can see that she charged $2,500 because he was being a so-called douchebag. Gentlemen, this is for all of y'all, including those that live in fucking New York City. Do not, I repeat, do not get involved with American females anymore, because this is what they will do to you. They will be making the dating scene a lot harder for you because these females chose to get hurt by the bad boys. It doesn't matter how nice of a guy you are, they do not want you. Therefore, it's simply not worth dating anymore. Quit the dating scene and start concentrating on yourselves. Moving on, it continues on and I quote, Duke said she sent around 6 Venmo requests ranging from $1,500 to $3,000, depending on their financial situation. Over the years to different men she's dated. She listed infidelity, secret marriages, and hiding having multiple sexual partners from her as some of her reasons for the charges. Putting a monetary value on caddish conduct helps men to better understand the error of their ways, Duke said, adding that she puts the phrase the D-bag tax in all her Venmo requests. Gentlemen, I want all of you to flee from these females as if they are the bubonic plague. Listen, if you are a man, and if you're listening to this, you need to run. I mean, turn around and sprint for your dear lives, because these females will destroy you. If you invest in these mediocre ass hoes, emotionally and financially, they will use that against you. They will crush you, and once you are of no use to them anymore, they will kick you to the curb permanently. Keep all of this in the front of your minds as we progress in this article. It continues on, and I quote, New York is the narcissist capital, Duke, who works as a personal assistant, said. They're not going to understand. What you did really hurt my feelings because they don't grasp feelings, they grasp money. Duke says the Venmo requests have been cathartic and she submitted them to men who offended her in various ways. Listen, bitch, cry me a river because no self-respecting masculine man gives a fuck about your feelings getting hurt, okay? Let's resume in the article. One man had promised to help her with rent, but required a not too subtle reminder. Another abandoned her on a weekend getaway in Atlantic City because he expected more of her, quote unquote. A third dude ghosted her and resurfaced a month later married to another woman. So it definitely sounds like she's a broken bird. She has a terrible taste in men, and she chooses not to improve in that area. Instead, she whines and bitch and complains about it to her girlfriends and her beta male friends that are stuck in her pathetic friend zone with blue balls, but she does absolutely nothing about it. She does nothing. She doesn't make any changes because deep down, she doesn't want the good guys. She wants the bad boys because typically they have more money than the good guys. Typically. And I'm speaking from personal experience. Typically, that's the case in today's day and age. And I believe it's always been that way for the past several decades. By the way, for her to refer to NYC as the capital of narcissism, I think she's stretching it too far. For her to use the word narcissist, that's too much. She has no right to use that word. At all. Ever. Period. Moving on. It continues on and I quote, when I ran into him again years later, he's like, but my divorce finalizes tomorrow. Want to hang out? She recalled in disbelief. About half the time, the suitors have paid up. Duke has been surprised at the success of the requests, but hypothesized that men, they would rather pay than deal with the emotional consequences. If you're dealing with narcissists, you're never going to get closure, she said, but I can get the mental image of them receiving my Venmo requests. Okay, whoever this guy was, he's retarded, and here's why. He's digging himself an even deeper hole because now, after getting his divorce finalized, now he wants to hang out with a female that was still bad news. Gentlemen, you need to understand this. A real man uses his mind, not his heart, and especially not his schlong. After a divorce, you need some time to get away from it all. Meditate, go someplace far away, and think about what your next move will be. Let's move on. It continues on, and I quote, Hazel Everett, 34, agreed, saying she sent a Venmo request to a man she'd been seeing for several months after he stopped communicating with her and sent her another woman's nude photos. I just went on Venmo and I requested $100, and for the highlight, I wrote for wasting my time, she said, quote unquote. Although initially surprised at her request, her former partner paid the money, stating her reasoning behind the charge being the significant time and effort into their relationship, which was not reciprocated. As for Sarah, she never went on a second date with the man who paid the deposit. But no matter, she came out ahead. I never heard from him again, she said, so I just kept the money. I'll tell you one thing, men like myself, we have the right to use the word narcissist. You know why? Because this article just goes to show how fucked up 90% of American females are. This article demonstrates that these females are straight up narcissistic, self-entitled, and spoiled little goblins that think that they own the world. This type of shit is what pushes more men away. As for the men who chose to pay this bullshit tax, shame on you. Shame on you for giving them your hard-earned money. Never, and I mean ever, agree to pay that tax ever again. As for the good guys over at NYC that keep getting ghosted by these 304s, you need to understand that it is not your fault as to why you struggle in the dating market. It's the 304's fault. It's their fault for disrespecting men and mistreating men all across the board. Stop dating and stop chasing these 3s, these 4s, and these 5s. They're not worth your time, let alone your money. You are better than that. So that concludes this article. Therefore, in conclusion, here's what we can learn from this. These females can use the word narcissist as many times as they want, left and right, up and down, as if this is a ping pong game, but that doesn't change the cold blood fact that these females are the ones that are at fault here. They are to blame for their 304 tendencies. Period. End of story. Gentlemen, do not give a single dollar to these hoes because they haven't done shit to earn you. They haven't done anything for you. Therefore, leave them where they belong, in the streets. So, with all of that said, this concludes this episode of my incredible podcast. So, thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, share this with your boys and your families, follow me on Instagram, smash that bell notification button, and y'all have a wonderful and blessed day. Peace out.